welcome to everyone that's joined. Is that I won't try and say good evening or afternoon or all that sort of thing because we've got participants from how many countries is it, Jane?
11.
11 countries. Okay, so it's spread right across the world. So wherever you are, hopefully things are going well for you. And I say thanks for finding the time to join us. So this webinar is actually a follow-up to one we held in April on research, and that was that webinar itself was at the request of members that sort of said, well, given that we've got this network of accredited institutions worldwide, what can we do to lever the network and use the network to support and to stimulate research? So during that webinar, we discussed potential sort of avenues for the ICE to support research, and we identified two key ways that members would like for us to support it. One was to create some sort of research platform. We didn't know what that would look like and how that would be. And the second was some sort of funded research project. So not the research grant scheme itself, which is already up and running, but a specific sort of topic that the ICE would launch as a research idea or topic, and then fund a specific topic with the idea of answering a specific issue and then sharing the results with members. More about the second one later, but this particular webinar is the follow-up because we've been working hard on generating this research platform, and today we'll launch it. So the way the webinar will unfold is I'll do a little bit of an introduction and a bit of a background on how we sort of formed the platform, what it is designed to do, and also importantly, what it's not designed to do. So where it fits in the landscape of other platforms and other sort of avenues to publish and present research. And then I'll hand over to Jane, who will go through the platform and how explaining how it works. And actually, I think we'll do some live demonstrations of it working in action with this very specific sort of question that's been raised to us from one of our members. And then we'll come back and we'll look at the other ways that or the other way that the ICE might support research and scholastic activity through the funded research project, and we'll get maybe some ideas on that and have a general sort of conversation about the platform and supporting research. So that's the way it will pan out. It's we've got 31 people currently on board, so it's still a relatively small group, although it's growing each minute. But if people have got questions, please use the chat function or the Q&A just to raise questions, and we'll deal with them as we go through. So if something I'm saying is not clear, just let us know, and I'm happy to sort of try and clarify things. So as I say, this is about the research platform, and we're pleased today to be able to launch, to present the research platform. So we'll have the webinar today, and then literally overnight an email will go out to all members saying, look, it's now live, and we're looking to sort of enlist people to join the platform. The idea is that we'll launch the platform. We'd like to create this, if you like, this community of practice, this community of research. So we're looking for approximately 2, maybe 3 researchers per institute across our members, and that would generate a research kind of community of 70 or so, maybe a few more researchers. We've got capacity on the platform at the moment of 100 people joining, so we don't want to have 60 from one institution and be, scrambling around for places for others. So I say we'll look at probably getting 2 to 3 key researchers from each institution to join the platform, and then they can also, of course, share the ideas with other researchers in their teams, etc. That's the idea of it. So the need for the platform was identified in the last webinar. Basically, as I say, the members were sort of saying we would like somewhere where we can just share research ideas. So I've just got this idea for research, but I don't know if it's a good one. I don't know if it's necessarily been done before, or perhaps by a different angle, or perhaps in a different way. So I just want somewhere to share an idea, and I want to get to get some feedback on that idea. So I need to sort of like have somewhere to do that. So ostensibly, this is a sharing platform. This is a networking in platform. It's specifically related to the ethos of the ICE and to the focus of the ICE, which is about raising the quality of hospitality, tourism, events, culinary arts education worldwide. So anything that any ideas that aim to do that, or then we're happy to for those ideas to be discussed on this new platform. We're happy in terms of the discussion element of it, for it to be used for any research. So any research ideas can be discussed on the platform, but the publishing of the research I'll come to, because we'd have to make a distinction there. Because what we don't want to do through the platform, and this has caused a lot of kind of discussion and backwards and forwards between myself and particularly Brian, is what we don't want to do is duplicate existing areas to publish research. There's a whole plethora of journals out there. There's a whole plethora of conferences out there, which are the avenues where you can publish, produce your research and share your research. And the last thing we want to do in creating this platform is stepping on anyone's toes or compete with anyone. We don't want to do that. That's not sort of the purpose of it. So I would like to
We've lost
the generating of feedback. They may be then. Sorry,
I think you dropped out there for a moment.
Am I back?
Yeah, you are.
Okay. Am I back? Thank you. So what I was to say is about the sharing of ideas, the generating of feedback. Maybe they're listening of partners, so maybe sort of to say, would you like to join me on this project? Is anyone sort of research in this area? We can combine into research teams. For that function, for the sharing function, then we can encompass all research. So that's fine. But when it comes to actually publishing the research, what we'll do is we'll only publish research that's very specifically related to enhancing the quality of tourism hospitality education. Now, I know that's a broad remit. I know it's like a broad area, because it could, for example, include new content, or it could include new assessment methods, or innovation in terms of accreditations, or could it itself include quality systems and the development of quality systems. You might, for example, be looking at sort of the accreditation process itself and different ways to approach accreditation. It might be something to do with staff development or professional development. It might be some other form of scholastic activity. So it's broad, and I appreciate that. But as I say, in terms of publishing research, we'll focus specifically on those elements that enhance the quality of tourism hospitality education. And maybe to just explain that by using an example, Steve from STR is joining us this evening, and Steve is very kindly, we'll include Steve later on, but Steve he said the STR Share Centre fully support this new platform, and are willing to share their data as they do with our members to facilitate research. If a few of the members of the ICE would say, okay, well, let's look at that STR data, and let's use it to look at the growth of hotels within, let's say, China or a region of China. Now, in terms of sharing ideas and actually facilitating the collaboration, yeah, use the platform. But when it comes to publishing the results, the growth of hotels in China is maybe something that's better targeted at a journal or a conference. If, however, the focus of the outcome was how to use STR data to stimulate student research or student research projects, or for example, to undertake a virtual internship, then we'd be happy to produce it on the platform, because that's a new innovative approach to using the data and using the research results. So I know it's a subtle distinction, but it's just that we need to be aware not to duplicate existing platforms. Okay, so that's the distinction. So it's primarily a sharing, a networking, a collaborative tool, and in some cases it will be a publishing platform as well. So that's what it is. As to how it works, now we can hand over to Jane, I think, who will then explain sort of how it works in practice, how people can perhaps join it, and the sort of process whereby people will get involved. Okay, Jane. Yeah.
Thank you. Very happy to be introducing the new platform, and certainly with Craig providing that background makes it somewhat easier, cuts out a little bit of what I was going to say at the start. So this session will be a little more interactive than our normal webinars. During the session, I'll be inviting Alison from Blue Mountains International Hotel School to come and share one of her research projects she's working on, where she's looking for some input. Scott Richardson actually has a little bit of data around that, so then he'll in a live feed respond to that. And then Edmund Go, from Edith Cowan, we've actually already published one of his articles on the platform, so then he'll share his experience and thoughts on having his published work already put up there. So I want to strongly reinforce that we are going to be encouraging questions and comments from everyone, because we want to make sure we're maximising this platform for what you're after. So if you do have thoughts after I've walked through it, please do raise your hand, pop a comment in the chat function. If you want to talk at the end of the presentation, once Scott, Edmund and Alison have spoken, please do just send a note in the chat function and I can make it so that you can speak, but we want to emphasise the collaboration of this particular webinar. So what I'll do is access to the platform, as Craig had said, will be exclusive to members, and we do want the key ones to be invited. It's 100 maximum at the moment that we can facilitate, but the more interactive it comes, the more we want it to grow. So we really do want to push members to go on there and have these discussions and have these research ideas shared. So I'll launch into sharing my screen, so you know what it looks like. Hopefully I share the right one. Has that gone over? Is that the right screen?
We're looking at
yep,
the feed, yeah.
So you can see Edmund Go at the top, perfect. So yeah. As Craig had mentioned, we have a mission to develop and promote excellence amongst our members through collaboration, and more frequently we are receiving those emails for collaboration. The last one came from the Pacific, this one's come from Blue Mountains. So we're really getting that demand and that push for our members saying we have this network, let's use it. So we've created this space with the goal for members to share that relevant completed research, discuss the research ideas, seek assistance where possible, and get that inspiration from their colleagues around the globe, especially as we're not as connected as we used to be. We can't have those discussions at events that we previously had. So it's really a way for you to constantly connect now and then as we move forward as well. So I'll navigate through what I've got here. Apologies for looking this way because it's on my big screen, so I do apologise for not actually looking at you. What I might do is switch my camera off, because I don't know if I can switch it off. I'll do that. Yes, I can. There we go. And that makes me feel better for not actually looking at you. So what we have up here, once you've actually signed up for it, you'll be able to see the feed. And the feed is actually very similar to, say, a Facebook feed. It will list everything that we've done. So this is, we started working on this 2 months ago. As Craig said, we've been working in the background here to really make this platform as user-friendly as possible and to maximise the benefits for our members. So this is the main page that you'll always land on, and it'll literally just show the chronological order of what's been posted onto the platform. You can then explore and search, which are fairly similar. The only difference between exploring and searching is exploring will show you the top 10 posts in the last month. You can then search, the search function is exactly the same. And if you type in COVID, it'll bring up Edmund's post, Edmund and Tom Baum's paper that's actually already been published up there. There will be more as we publish more, but that's the way that you do search. So you put in your key topic and it'll come up. Now, if we go over to the feed, I've actually created some of the tags based on Edmund's post there. So if you do want particular search topics to be put in there, you can message myself or Elise with search topics, and we can add them as the tags for people to be able to search under. We'll also be keeping an eye on the conversations that happen, and we'll add the tags as well once we notice the themes of what it's coming out. That will make it much easier for you to see as well. If we then go down to profile, that brings you to the ICE profile. You've got two main tabs here. The post is just similar to the feed up the top. What you want to go to is the spaces. So this is where you're going to be coming into. So once you've logged in, go down to profile, click on spaces, and these 3 spaces here are where the collaborations are really going to take place. So if under your sharing your research papers, that's where the published stuff will appear. So as you can see, that's got Edmund's already in there. That's where you can then reply, react, have conversations with Edmund about what it is, what the paper was, and actually be able to see the paper that links out externally. Back to profile again. Research projects. So if you have a current research project you're working on, but you want to seek some more data, you are stuck on an idea, you don't know where to get some information, but you want to reach out to the network for that information, that's where you'd go to here. And that would be potentially looking where Alison would go. So I'm actually working on information at the moment around student enrolment. Is there anyone out there in the network that can actually provide this information or knows where I can go to source this information? So that's where this research project would come into. Here's another way that you can actually access those 3 tabs that are over here, the spaces. So new research idea. So if you're sitting there going, guys, I actually really want to collaborate with someone on the impact of COVID, I'm going to say, I won't say on what that is because somebody else is doing that, on wait staff or vary it. Does someone want to collaborate with me? That's another one. So specifically, Alison's looking for information, but the difference between the research project, Alison already has a research project going. She's looking for a source for specific information. Under new ideas and research, that's something that hasn't actually developed yet. You've come up with a seed idea. You're looking for people to input and collaborate right from the ground level. Does that all make sense? Seeing nods, that's great. So we'll invite members to come through, and the invites will go out to the key members. If you don't know who the key members within the institutions are, send an email to me, and I can put you in touch with them. But they will be inviting the key researchers. So as I've mentioned, this platform is to engage our members and stimulate collaboration, enabling sharing between our members. So I'm going to hand over now to Alison, who is going to bravely, in a live feed, go to research projects and share her. Let me know if I have to refresh the page once you've posted there, Alison. And if you want to share, whilst you're posting that, talk a little bit about your research, what you're after, and how you think this platform will be helpful and useful to you.
Yeah, sure. So I did just click post and it said your post has been published. I got a confirmation, so hopefully it has. And as Jane explained, I am looking for education enrollment trends all over the world. While I am American, I am here in Australia, as she mentioned, with the Blue Mountains International Hotel Management School. And so I'm more comfortable figuring out data in Australia, and I'm very interested in enrollment trends across the world and would really welcome any suggestions of places that I can go look for this kind of data.
Now, Scott, I know that you don't have anything specific, but I do, from what I'm aware on your webinar the other day, you actually have some information that may help Alison here.
Sure. So let me go into system.
I'll copy it and send that link to you. Does that make that easier?
just gone back onto mute, Scott. I'm not sure if you're aware of that, but
Yep, no problem. So I've got Alison's post up. So
Excellent.
essentially we just reply in there. Let me just find the link so I can put it in there. 1 second.
I'll just like Edmund's post while you're there. Scott's gone on mute again.
yeah. Just while Scott's doing that, I'll just jump in because the A-level results in the UK were released last week, Alison, and that then stimulates the application take-ups at universities. And the first sort of thing to say is the results, the A-level results, because they were done by continuous assessment rather than exams, were the highest achievement ever across the board. So across A-levels, but also at GCSEs, etc. So the attainment in the UK has been higher than ever. But also the because we think because of the uncertainty in terms of the economy, the numbers of applications to universities has just gone through the roof, with some places, some institutions basically having 170% increase in applications to particular institutions. And this has actually stimulated the likes of Leeds University to offer students that have got a guaranteed place, because they've offered them a place on the results, and the results are higher than normal. So there's more people getting the results than they expected. So they're offering people that have got their places £10,000 in the hand, plus a guaranteed year's free accommodation if they defer a year.
Wow.
So that's what's happening in the UK at the moment, is that the demand for university places has just gone through the roof, as such that the universities are saying we just can't cope. So we're making these unbelievably generous offers. I mean, £10,000 plus a year's free accommodation just to defer your place is what I say is on offer. Now, what I don't know is whether that is also reflected in hospitality and tourism applications, whether everywhere else is booming and hospitality and tourism isn't. But that's the sort of thing that I think this platform can be used for. So obviously I'm sharing it verbally now, but I would have shared that information with you sort of through the platform. Yeah, because it's really interesting that what's happening to university applications. But as I say, I don't know whether it distills down into hotel and tourism management. If it doesn't, then the disparity and the challenges that hospitality and tourism have got because of COVID is even greater, if you see what I mean. So yeah, interesting times.
How are you going there, Scott?
And thank you for sharing that, Craig.
Yep, so I've posted a couple of links in there for Alison to look at.
Oh, there we go. Brilliant. So Craig, perhaps if you have actually logged on to there, Craig, so perhaps you could add that for Alison, because I think that's really important information as well that you've just shared for Alison. And certainly I would be curious to know if that's occurring in other places around the world. Those incentives are incredible. So as you can see, Scott has kindly placed some links in there for Alison, and that's what we're hoping. We're hoping for that type of collaboration to say, well, this is the data that you can actually look at, or that I'm aware of. Craig can post the information that he's aware of as well, and hopefully with some links. And then if anyone else around the world, within our network, can help Alison and post within there, that would be brilliant as well. So at the end of today, what we're hoping is institutions will contact us and say, well, these are the key people we'd like to be able to access this platform that will really get the benefit from, they're currently doing research, they need to find data, they can use this platform to be able to help source that data or help share their ideas, and use that as inspiration, collaboration, information sharing, And I'm also going to hand over to Edmund in a moment to talk about the next step where you've actually got a published relevant article that's been into a journal that you want to share to the group as well. So please, we hope to hear from everyone that's in this webinar afterwards with their key people, but now I am going to hand over to the lovely Edmund, and I'll jump into share your research topic. And as you can see, it's extremely topical with what Edmund and Thomas had, Edmund and Tom had published. So Edmund, over to you.
Yep, there you go. Thanks a lot, Jane. Yep. So thanks to Jane and Craig for inviting me to talk about, share my research on the soft launch of the ICE Tribe platform. It's really exciting to actually hear some of your sort of internal networks and database that you are using to actually facilitate research and scholarship. So I think that's very important. Yep. Interestingly, I was first involved with the ICE in 2009. And I just remembered in 2016, I actually presented at one of the ICE panel in Switzerland, on the topic about research and scholarship. And just to kind of, I was thinking back about what happened and so on. I went back to my notes, and one of the discussion points back then was actually about the lack of a database within the ICE community to support research and scholarship activities. So there was all this talk about how do we go about developing this community of practice, how do people share ideas and so on. And no one was able to actually kind of have a platform to actually post ideas, share ideas, hyperlinks, I guess to create some sort of an incubator to develop ideas and stimulate research projects. So I think this is definitely the start to greater and bigger things to come. So with the recent publication with Tom, it was really something that we didn't really plan, to be honest. I met Tom at one of the ICE conference in, I think it's 2012 or 13. And one of the COTI conferences, and we just kept in touch. But how this project actually came about was I was having this idea, especially in Perth, there's this lockdown, the quarantine hotels is a big thing in Perth. People talk about it all the time. And one of the issues was really about the younger generation of hospitality workers who have been kind of left behind or have been kind of presented with a very gloomy outlook of the industry. And then I asked myself this question, like, so with the industry, I guess turning its back on the hospitality workers, why do the young workers still want to work and stay around and hang around in the industry, especially to work in quarantine hotels? So that kind of triggered some ideas. Then I started to do some research and so on, and I found that Tom, has been publishing lots of controversial topics about the hospitality workforce. So I started writing a bit about the topic, and then I contacted Tom and said, I have this great idea. I was a bit nervous because he's like one of the godfathers in the hospitality literature, and I cited him in lots of my papers, and I was terrified to approach him then. So I actually had to approach him formally through his email, which was a bit confronting, but I made it through. So I talked to him, and he was a nice guy, and he said yes, and that's how we started them. But if I thought back, and if there was the ICE Tribe platform, which could have kind of allowed me to reach out to Tom informally without being so intimidating, I think that would have changed things a bit, and it would have actually opened up more opportunities for me to actually want to reach out to him, rather than the fear of being rejected and this guru out there. So definitely that's a good way to start off. So how did I came about using the ICE Tribe platform? I actually look at this platform as a form of getting together and drinking virtual coffee, which I do almost every day at the uni. From time to time, my colleagues would ask me, would you like to drink coffee? Would you like to drink coffee? And whenever someone asks you if you like to drink coffee, there's something to talk to you about. And it's not about research, about teaching, and so on. So I think this sort of platform with the eyes is really some sort of like a virtual coffee drinking platform, whereby it's a nice informal way to network, share ideas. There's no hierarchy, no power distance. We just talk about our passion about research and scholarship. And I think that's a healthy platform, and that's what the eyes is all about. Yep. So why did I share my research on the Tribe platform? I guess one is to really to increase exposure of the topic. Yep. One, obviously, to get some citations. Hopefully you cite the paper. Yep. But on the other hand, because I know that by sharing on this platform, I'm actually reaching out to a very targeted, targeted group of scholars and researchers, who are in this area of tourism and hospitality. So I know that my research will have some impact or some usefulness, to the users on this platform. Yep. And so I actually felt that this platform would be a better way to actually get a genuine audience, as compared to going on social media, on LinkedIn, which I've done previously as well, or to go on the traditional sort of journal websites or ResearchGate or Google Scholar, which then presents a very sort of formal, a formal front of collaboration, if you like to call it, whereby going on the eyes Tribe platform gives this very sincere and informal approach that I actually feel comfortable in. So when Jane was saying, would you mind sharing your research on the platform, I was actually very happy that I actually got the invitation, because I'm not a member of the eyes. Yep. So that speaks a lot of why I actually wanted to share it on the eyes. Yep. The other thing is, I actually see being able to share and discuss relevant research ideas as a key motivation as why I want to share this research on the eyes. One, I'm able to see all the members of the network with similar research interests. And that's important, because if you go to things like Google Scholar, you can still filter them, or you can go to ResearchGate and filter them. But it's a bit different, because it's still quite a huge database that you really have to kind of cipher through them. But with the eyes, you're kind of targeting sort of like today, out of 38 participants, I'm pretty sure, there's about 2 to 5 participants that would be very close to what I'm doing, and we can actually have a more valuable conversation, that something could actually come out of it, rather than just going to the market with 100, 200 sort of like members. Yep. Also, I find that with the eyes platform, I'm able to actually narrow my search and keywords. So for example, if you went to Google Scholar and you type in a keyword search, then you come up with like sort of 10,000, 20,000 of articles that you really have to go through. But I think with this, even though the number may not be as huge as those Google Scholar databases, but those articles that actually comes out of the eyes database would be highly relevant to what I am actually looking for, which actually helps, because we actually want to, we are all time poor, so we just want to get straight to the point and go to those articles that are useful. So I think that's very useful. And one thing I actually see the value of this platform, as what Craig and Brian King kind of pointed out. We don't want to kind of replicate what is out there, with the TriNet and all those. We actually want to build a community that we can share ideas. It's about learning about new topical ideas. Yep. And it's good to actually learn topical ideas about your peers that are important to you. Because as I said, we are time poor. We actually want to know what are important with our peer groups, because then we can actually use that to support our network and to learn from one another. And that makes the ICE so strong, because all members actually have a very similar research and scholarship interest, which is about tourism and hospitality education. So I think you have a very targeted audience, which I really feel very happy for you guys. And like what Alison did was actually to ask for help. Yep, I know we are all very, academics are very sort of proud individuals. We don't like to ask for help and support. Yep, but I actually feel that this sort of platform is a nice way to reach out and to ask for assistance from fellow members who actually care about each other. Yep, I mean, I've tried putting out questions on ResearchGate, and people don't normally reply them. And if they reply, there's a hidden agenda behind that. Either they want your paper for free or they want a favor. Yep. So I think this actually gives a good way to kind of reach out for assistance and support, yep, from fellow ICE members. Maybe it's about methodology concerns or about literature gaps. Yep. And like I said earlier on, you're able to directly chat and email, yeah, to initiate collaboration initiatives. Yeah, I talked about my example with Tom. It was highly intimidating. Yep, I went through the formal process. But if there was something like this, I could just chuck in a couple of sentences just to kind of test him out, yeah, and just to kind of reach out to him informally, and that would actually help to generate more research projects. Yep, and of course, yep, I think the ICE platform is a highly trusted source of contact point. So we don't want all these, sort of like hundreds of emails or messages from people that you don't know. Yeah, and believe it or not, we tend to work with people that we know and we trust. So I think, you will get more out of this if we were all to share our projects and to have this conversation on the platform, all right, internally rather than going external. So I think that's something that I look at. And of course, I look at this as like sort of very similar to Facebook. There's no harm in making a new friend, especially in academia. So there's no harm. I didn't really know Alison. Yeah, I didn't know what she was looking out for. And all of a sudden, I found that she's working at Blue Mountains. And then we have a connection, and I'm going to send her some links to some articles, and then maybe we can have a paper somewhere down the line. So I think it's a very nice way to kind of reach out and ask for help and to just, to make new friends and contacts. Yep. And lastly, I think it's a very nice way to share your success and celebrate small wins. Yep. Because I think the ICE platform gives us this opportunity to, if you posted your article or something interesting about a research project, and people actually are happy for you. I'm not sure, were you happy when I posted the research article? Yeah, hopefully you were. But I actually have this sense that people actually want to celebrate the success of the ICE member who have just published something in a journal. And that creates goosebumps and a good fear factor. And I think that's something good. And it helps to increase confidence and reduce self-doubt, because we know that we are all academics, we have all this like the imposter syndrome. So if we see more academics of the ICE publishing, and we know we can do it, and it removes a lot of self-doubt and increases our confidence. So I think that's a plus point. But I see lots of positives in this platform, and if Jane and Craig will allow me to be kind of a non-member of the ICE to post articles on the platform, I'll be happy to do so. But that's my 2 cents worth of using the platform, and what a wonderful idea. Congrats to Jane and Craig.
Thank you, Edmund. That was very detailed. And as you were saying, I love the idea of you referring to it as a virtual coffee, especially when there's so many places can't actually go out for coffee with fellow colleagues. So it is a great place for you to sit down and just have that collaboration together. And even if it means that you take it off the platform, you can at least start there. And as you were saying, it is a very specific targeted audience, and we're not looking for every single research paper that every single academic at our institutions are publishing. We want, what we mean by research on this platform is relevant to the vision of our ICE, and that is to significantly and substantially enhance the quality of our higher education institution within tourism and hospitality, events and culinary arts globally. So it's a very specific research platform in sharing those ideas. And so when we are posting, or we are allowing papers to be shared, they're not generic papers, they are specific to that topic, and that is for our members' benefit to gain that knowledge. Craig, I'll hand back to you so you can speak more on the scholarship side of things, if that works. I've noticed that a few people such as Steve Hood, thank you, Steve, you've popped some articles in there. I think there may be some more that I've missed when I was sharing my screen. So while you're talking, Craig, I'll actually post those responding to Alison's as well. So that's up there from the people, and then it's a trail from this webinar. So I'll start doing that as you talk, Craig.
Yeah, thanks, Jane. Yeah, I was going to refer to that because I say Steve in the background in the chat function has posted something. Labour is definitely a hot topic in the lodging industry. It's a recent article regarding work shortages in the US. So that's a response to Edmund's paper. And Edmund himself has identified something that might be helpful as well. And as Jane says, we're doing that on the chat function, of course, now, but in the future, this can all go through the research platform. So that sort of exchange and that sort of responding to questions and to ideas is exactly what we're talking about. So it's primarily for the sharing of ideas, for the generating of feedback, for the finding of partners, and as I say, we will post a relevant research as well, so that we will gradually build up a resource in this area. But it won't be, as I say, competing with other platforms, and it won't ever be sort of like the 10,000, hundreds of thousands of articles that you'll find elsewhere. So hopefully it'll be much more of a targeted resource that Edmund was talking about. And thanks, Edmund, just in passing for your comments there, because yeah, I mean, each kind of initiative that the ICE is doing, we try and sort of like embed it within this ethos of the ICE. So as we grow and as we develop and we offer more member benefits, we don't ever want to sort of like get away from the fact that essentially we're a network of like-minded people. And the ethos of the ICE is all about informal communication and sharing, just for the benefit of all. It's not competitive in any way, and that hopefully that comes through in this new initiative, and certainly what that's back to what Edmund was saying. If anyone's got any questions about the platform, please let us know. Please just ask the question there, because we'll answer that in time. What I want to do just now is also stress a couple of things relating to the platform. We've talked a lot about research, but it is also a platform for scholastic activity in general. So if within your institution there are initiatives that are improving the quality of your education based on possibly staff development, but maybe you're all doing a specific course of study, short course of study, or certification, or maybe you attended a webinar. I know last week Helly offered a webinar that was viewed by a lot of members of the ICE. It was particularly sort of like well received and got a lot of good feedback on that. But if you're attending webinars elsewhere, and you think people should be aware of that, then again, that's what this platform is for. So do sort of like post that, because we'll create another sort of space for scholastic activity, maybe for professional development. So you can post your ideas within there. So it's not just about research; it's about scholastic activity in general. The other thing to say is research sometimes sort of is very much connected with the upper echelons of education, which may be only for bachelor students, maybe only for master students, or maybe even better the domain of the PhD students. This platform is for all levels of research. So I got a query earlier on, yeah, this is fine, but what are you doing for your AD students and diploma students? Well, they engage in research as well, and this platform is just as accessible and just as hopefully useful for them as for PhD researchers. So we welcome ideas for student research, academic research, or a combination of the two. So you know, we're not making sort of it specific to any sort of area either. So those 2 points I wanted to make. In terms of where we go from here, well, we would very actively sort of populate and develop the platform over the coming weeks and months. As I say, the launch email will go out tonight. We're looking for 2 to 3 key representatives per institute who will then join the network. We'll ask those people then to begin to populate it. And we'll sort of, if we're not getting the members, we'll approach individual institutions and chase them up. So the idea of the coming months is to fill, if you like, the network using the platform. And then, as I say, we'll build up the sort of material on there and the exchange of ideas on there. We've got a very sort of very good range of high-level academics involved in the assessment panel. So as people know, Brian King is the chair of the assessment panel. He sort of said to me, what can I do to support this? Well, one thing he will be doing is regularly looking at the platform and providing his own feedback on there. Similarly, within the assessment panel, Tom is in there, and he's also will be checking out the platform and providing his feedback. So as Edmund pointed out, it is your access to the very sort of top academics worldwide. And where Edmund made a good point is he's not currently a member of the ICE, but we've opened up the ICE membership so that we can have individual members, and we can even have institutions just as friends of the ICE. There's notification if you are aware of an institute or you're aware of a person that you think, actually, they would be great to get on this platform, but they're not a member of the ICE. So what? Well, then let us know, because we'll be happy to approach them and sort of say, look, there is this opportunity to just engage with the ICE with absolutely no financial commitment at all. It will allow you access to the platform, and so that you can contribute and you become part of a network, because it's more about encouraging the engagement rather than about generating membership. That's not what this is about. It's just about encouraging the engagement. So, as I say, if you know of people or if you know of institutions that you feel might benefit the platform, then let us know, and we'll gladly approach them and sort of engage them with it. Okay, so that's where we'll be going with the platform. The other element that I mentioned was the research topic, as it were. So we, as members know, we already offer the research grant scheme. So each year we offer grants to research ideas coming from institutions. So I've got this research idea. Then you submit your proposal. Our panel evaluate it, and normally we offer one research grant per year, $3,000. This year we offered 2 research grants to stimulate research, and that's for ideas coming from institutions. What we'll be looking at next year is, alongside that research grant scheme, we'll also launch a ICE research topic for a funded piece of research. So we'll say this is the topic that we would like institutions to bid for. If you wish to research this topic, if you've got expertise in this area and you believe that you can undertake this research, then let us know, and then we will fund that research. That's just in its embryonic stage at the moment, if you like. It's just an idea that we've got. We'll launch it alongside the research grant scheme when we refine it next year. So then we'll have the research grant scheme, or the research platform, and the ICE research topic. And I think with those elements, then we've really got a good stimulus for research and scholastic activity going across the ICE. But if people have got other ideas as to what we might do, then let us know. Please let us know. Okay, Steve, if Steve Hood, if you're out there, Steve and I have exchanged emails leading up to this. Are you there, Steve? Did you want to come in and just
allowed him to talk? While he's coming in to
Okay.
talk, I do just want to quickly go back and share this page just to show with the few people that are on there. So we're now on the research projects page. You can see there's now been 7 comments between Scott, Edmund and Alison. And that's the type of collaboration we're actually really looking for. And if you go into there, there's been now several articles that have been shared to help Alison from both Edmund and Scott. I've then popped the information that Steve shared in the chat box, letting Alison know, only because Steve's not yet a member yet, he can't post it directly, he will be soon. And then just to let me contact me and I can put her in touch with Steve from STR. So that's the exact type of collaboration that we're really after. And that's just from 30 minutes of launching it. And I really do hope that's a sign of where this platform will go. We'll really be able to get you in contact with the people that can provide you with the information you need to do your research.
Okay.
Steve,
Hello.
Steve? Hey, Steve, how you doing?
Hey, good. Hold on just a second. Let me think. Do I turn on video?
you can. We'd love to see you.
No, I don't see an option.
Your
to
pajamas,
do
then no, that's
that.
fine.
I am not in my pajamas, thank you. Or at least not as much as you can see, correct?
Good.
I don't see. Yeah, that's right. I don't have the normal
Maybe.
control.
I wonder if I can upgrade you to a panelist. No, it doesn't give me the option to do that either.
Yeah, I don't have the control to be able to turn on my video. So, but you don't have to see me. You know, this is a great initiative, guys, and I really, really excited about it. Excited about the opportunity, and we're more than glad to support that. Obviously, at the Share Center, one of our goals. Can everybody hear me? Okay.
Absolutely.
Yep. No,
Okay. Sorry, it's just looking at a black screen. Yeah, so obviously one of our goals at the Share Center, and I think most of you understand what we do, but one of our goals is to promote research. We have a huge amount of different types of data that we make available to researchers all over the world. This is data for all over the world. So our research has been used in, we actually just compiled a list last year of 500 peer-reviewed journal articles in the last 10 years. And I could send you a list of all those if you want those, just to give you an idea of the possibilities. But, you know, we're more than glad to help. You know, this summer, for example, we scheduled a series of research roundtables on different topics. We did one on hotel operations, revenue management, tourism, and meeting and events, and then
Nope. He's just dropped off there. Yeah. Have you lost Steve as well, Jane? Or
nope, hold on. Oop. I'm now on. Hello. So research roundtables, we're doing one. So we did a bunch this summer. 5 hours from now, we're doing one related to accounting, finance, and F&B. And this is a unique one because we'll be showing the P&L data that we make available for research. This is monthly P&L data. So talk about labor shortages. You could look at, you know, labor expense during COVID of any group of hotels that you're interested in, you know, looking at. You could pick luxury hotels and see what are the, you know, what are the changes in labor expense. The thing to stress, I think, right now, this obviously, you know, this is an overused word. It's a historic time in the hotel industry. Last week, STR had its conference. We do a hotel data conference. I joke with people, it's really the sort of data nerd conference for the lodging industry. lot of presentations, a lot of economic data being shared, and people trying to predict forecasts and stuff like that. But what I really, my biggest takeaway from that was that the industry is in uncharted waters. I mean, we're looking at data right now that nobody knows what to do with, and the opportunity for academic research is just really unparalleled. You know, the industry needs, you know, they have a lot of questions at this point in time. You know, I could rattle off a number of the questions that just top of mind from last week that, you know, and at the same time, many of these companies, as they were impacted by COVID, they cut their research staff you know, so they have these questions and not enough people to answer. And boy, what an opportunity for academia to jump in and work with industry more. And, you know, that would be an interesting thing to think about too, Craig, in terms of, you know, at opportunities, you know, in this initiative, we could bring in industry input on topics and say, hey, what are your needs? What are your challenges? And then have academia respond, because that's one of the challenges. You know, you have, you know, if industry is talking to one professor or one school, limited resources and limited brain power. But that's what, you know, this initiative brings to the table. It's like you've got multiple schools involved, multiple experts in different things. You know, you're interested in risk analysis. I saw Evelina's on the call from Cesar Ritz. You know, she's your, you know, she's the girl. You know, she's done that before. So, you know, all kinds of different possibilities. So we're more than glad to help. Any way we can provide data. If you have questions about our data and hey, could I use that in this kind of thing? That's what we do. Just drop us an email, steve@str.com or shood@str.com, and we're more than glad to help. We'll jump on the website and definitely try to keep in mind there as well. So any
That's great, Steve. Thank you. We really appreciate that. Steve and STR Share Centre have been very supportive of all the ICE initiatives, but I know particularly that they wanted to get behind this one and stimulate research and whatever guys. So really appreciate that, Steve. That's great. Do we have other questions? Anyone wanted to know more about the platform, the way it might be used, or anything else at this stage? Because Jane, if not, I think we might sort of. There's no need to sort of go on to another half hour just for the sake of thing at the time, but because we presented at the platform, people know where we're going from here with it, how they can access it, how they can get on board, and sort of where we're going with in the future. Really, I think what we just need now is your support, everyone attending, to register for the platform and get on board and start populating it, start using it. That's that's going to be the real test of this. It's there for us, so please start using it and make it a success. That's what I think we should leave you with. Yeah.
I've had some emails already come through as well from people that weren't able to stay for the whole chat, saying great initiative and looking forward to its launch and engaging. So being well received already, which is brilliant. Alison said thank you for the opportunity as well, but she had to run off to look after her kids.
Okay.
Understand.
Well, there's life and academia as well. Okay. Well, okay. In that case, as I say, we won't take any more people's time. Hopefully, that's been a benefit, be a bit of an interest, but more than anything, hopefully, get involved and register for this platform and start using it. Let's make it a success together and start working together on this research on scholastic activities. Thank you very much, and whatever time of day it is with you, hopefully your evening, your day, your afternoon is good, and we'll see you at the next webinar. Thank you very much for joining. Thanks a lot.